Hi everyone, I'm Cody, W3AMG with Bridgecom Systems. Thank you all for attending. In today's live stream, we're going to be covering programming your radio completely on the fly without having a computer, any CPS software, anything like that, just from the radio to talk to your local DMR repeater. We've covered this before, but it's a highly talked about topic, so we're going to cover it again today. So let's do some shout outs here real quick. Also want to mention we're giving away two different things today on this stream right here. So if you have to be present to win, but make sure you enter those giveaways. We're going to be giving away a 1-year subscription to Bridgecom Plus, and then we're also an exclusive giveaway for Bridgecom Plus members only. We're going to be giving away a brand new AnyTone 878 UV2 Plus radio. So definitely check that out, and let's do some shout outs real quick. Who do we have in the house today? See, Ron in 0SVC. Good morning, Ron, from Kansas. Huh? That's just across the street. Let's see, Andy KF0EZV. Elaine KE4YYJ. Good morning. Eric in 2KOJ. See, James in 0AJI in Kansas City. Awesome. Thanks for stopping in, James. Let's see, Aaron in 5VAE from Las Vegas. Awesome. Let's see, Nathan KH6IHB. Let's see, we have Michael KB1GEO. Rodney WG4USA. Dick W6VS. Lisa WQ9Y. Awesome. John N8GIE. Ed K7DHY. Awesome. Lots of people in the house today. This is going to be a great stream. We're going to take some questions possibly throughout, but mainly at the end. So if you have questions, definitely put them up there. We'll do our best to cover at least a lot of them. If you have more questions, tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time, we're going to be back here doing a deep dive Q&A into everything. So we will actually be able to answer almost all of your questions there. So definitely check that out. So let's get into it. Oh, one more thing. Almost forgot. We do have a big giveaway going on right now where you can win, like, I think it's over $4,500 worth of amateur radio equipment. So make sure you sign up for that giveaway if you're interested in that. We'd love to have you part of it. A lot of people signed up, but still a chance you could win. So definitely check that out. That's a great opportunity. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I've got my radio here, completely reinitialized it, so it should be just like a brand new radio. We'll fire that up. And if we do have show notes, I believe they're available. If not, they'll be available soon. You can follow along with it. We kind of have a step-by-step process you can use to follow along. So we have our radio here. First thing we want to do, I like to change a couple things just to make it easier to use. Like the timeout, this is going to time out really fast. So I like to increase that so it doesn't. So we'll just go in here to menu, scroll down to settings. And let's see, I believe that's under radio set and display function. I'm just going to change that light time to be either always, or we'll do like 45 minutes. That's good for me. That way I won't kill my battery if I leave it on accident. That way it doesn't time out on us. And then menu exit time. When you're programming from the front panel, this makes a big difference. Go ahead and change that to the maximum. Obviously that's up to you, but this will just mean when you're in a menu, that's how long it takes before it backs you out of that menu. So even if you have your radio set to stay on for 45 minutes, for example, if that menu exit time is at 5 seconds, you can be in the menu 5 seconds and then it changes. So especially when you're programming, that can be difficult if you're trying to find your information and then punch it in. Your radio keeps going back to the main screen. So definitely change that and you'll have a lot more luck. One more setting we want to change before we get started, this will actually make it usable, is the channel name. As standard, it will actually come set to frequency instead of channel. I'll show you what I mean here. So go into your settings, click menu, and then go down to settings. I believe this is under radio set. Let's see here. Is it under display? Yep, it's under display, right? Same where we were before. Go ahead and change that channel name. It's going to be set on frequency. You want that to channel. What that's going to do is when you're actually on looking at your channel, you'll be able to see the name that we give it instead of the frequency. If you're talking to a local repeater, you probably already know the frequency, so you'd rather see the name, especially if you make multiple channels like with the Hotspot. You definitely want to see the names as opposed to just that frequency. There we go. So let's go find out what repeater we have in our area. A few different ways you can do this. If you don't have access to a computer or don't have one, your local club's going to be a great resource for you. Check out there. Most of the guys will have information on what's available. If that's not an option, you can, if you have access to the internet, you could even go to a library and get access to the internet. It's available almost everywhere, so in order to find your local repeater. But once you have that information, you can be completely computer free using your radio if you want to be. But today we're going to jump on the web and show you how you can easily find that local repeater information using the web browser. So we'll open up our web browser here, and I'm going to go to repeaterbook.com. That's one of the best resources out there for finding local repeater information. So just go ahead and select your area. It's going to be on the left-hand side, North American repeaters. That's what we're looking for. Awesome, here we go. So let's see, we'll scroll down. We are in Missouri, so go ahead and pick your state. Now once you're here, you can filter by just about everything under the sun when it comes to ham radio. So today we're looking for a DMR repeater, but if you, let's say, just had a single band radio, you could filter by what band you're looking for or what kind of mode. You can filter by just about everything or just search for everything. So we're going to filter by DMR. And Repeater Book is really neat, especially for finding stuff close to you, because you can actually filter by your location. So if I come up here and click on Map Results, I can click on that again here, and it will actually put everything on a map. And I can zoom in and out, move around, and actually find out what repeaters are in my area. And you can click on one, like I could click on that one, learn more about it. I can click for more info. That's pretty close to where we are here. There you have it. It tells you all that information. So in this case, we have the frequencies and we have all the info we need. So let's talk about what we actually need to write down. So we're going to have a uplink frequency and a downlink frequency. The difference for those, I've explained this before, but I'll explain it again for any newcomers. If you're not familiar with how all of that works, basically your radio has two different frequencies. One's going to be for transmitting and one's going to be for receiving. This allows you to use a repeater system, which gets you a lot more range, because instead of talking from one radio to another, you're able to talk up to a repeater and back down. It rebroadcasts back out to all the other radios. So that's the general idea with it. Now, the easiest way to remember what your transmit and receive frequencies are is with this uplink and downlink system. So in this case, uplink, in the eyes of the radio, radios are going to be down low on the ground, right? So you have your people on the ground with the radios. That's how I like to think of it. And repeater systems are going to be, on a tower up in the air. So you have, they're going to be up high. So uplink, if you're talking about the radio, what you're programming in here, uplink's going to be your transmit, because you're transmitting up to that repeater. Or in the case of the other, downlink, that's going to be coming down to the repeater. So just keep that in mind. Now, in the case of a repeater system, if you were setting one of them up, same concept applies. It's the easiest way to think about it. So just keep that in mind. So in this case, we have our uplink and downlink. We're going to write them down. Now, you'll want to also record your color code. Make sure you have your color code recorded there. In this case, that's color code 4. That just is basically almost like an access code. If you're familiar with analog radio, color code is going to function very similar to how a PL tone would work. And what it will do for you is totally different on the technical side of how it works, but that's the best way to think about it in terms of functionality. Then after that, there's one more piece of info we'll need, which is the time slot. So there's a couple, usually they have it maybe in the notes. Sometimes you can click on this talk group section here, open talk group view. So make sure you find out what talk group they want you on. In this case, or I apologize, time slot. You want the time slot. In this case, time slot 1 for all other Brandmeister talk groups. So we're going to use time slot 1 today. I've got all this written down here. So once we have that information, that's really all you need. Now you can do this through the software, but today we're going to be using the radio. There is a couple more things we'll need to pick out some talk groups. So the best way to do that I've found is, let's see, I usually just do a Google search for it, and I've had good luck with this pistar.uk website. They have a lot of talk groups on there. So you can go through, find a talk group. It's a big long list, so you can search through it. So just do a Control F, and that allows you to search. So if I wanted to search for like Missouri, we can search for that and find out that talk group number. So we'll need a few talk groups, whatever we want to program in our radio, if we're going to be using DMR. So I have some written down here. I've got the Parrot, the Missouri, the Disconnect, and Worldwide. So that should be enough. And then obviously we will need our call sign. Hopefully we all have that. If not, we'd love to help you get one. And also a radio ID, a DMR ID. If you don't know how to find that, you can actually do that through our website. So just go to bridgecomsystems.com and then click on Resources. And then this DMR ID call sign database search tool. Just go ahead and click on that and just enter your call sign here. So we'll enter W3AMG. Click on that and it will actually find my ID. So there we go, 3152688. Perfect. Awesome, there we have it. So we have our information. Let's go over to the radio and actually start putting that information in so we can use it. Awesome, so the first thing I'm going to do, let's see, so we've got the radio set up, we've got the repeater information, we've picked some talk groups. Now in the radio, the first thing I'm going to actually do is create my talk groups. So we'll make sure we can see this here. So we'll go into the radio and I'm going to click on Menu and then Talk Group. Now at this point, I could look at the talk group list, but it's going to be basically empty. So we're going to do a new contact. And you'll want to input the ID. Now in this case, let's say we want to add the Missouri talk group. So that's going to be 3129 from the information we wrote down, right? And now at this point you could hit save, but you'll actually run into some trouble. So make sure you pay attention to what it says right up here. It says private ID. In this case, we actually want to click the pound key down here at the bottom, and that's going to change it to a talk group ID. If you're inputting a talk group, you always want to make sure that's changed over to talk group ID. Only time we'll do a private ID, excuse me, is if you have like a parrot, for example. If you're inputting the parrot, you just want it to talk back to you, that would work. Or if you're talking to someone directly, you could do it that way as well. So in this case, we want a group ID. We'll click Confirm, give it a name. So in this case, this was Missouri, I believe. It can take a little while to type on these keyboards, so we'll just do Mo for short. Click Confirm. Believe that is all we should need here. Just go down to number 8 and click Save. Saving contact, there we go. Now if we go back up to our talk group list, we can click on it. We see we now have that talk group. You can see the information, you could select it, everything like that. So you're pretty much set there. So let's go ahead and create our other ones. So input ID, we'll do the talk group 91, which is worldwide. So 91, confirm, give it a name. Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to label it world, and we'll click confirm. And then at this point, just scroll down and go ahead and save that. There we go, we have another talk group saved. So, same thing, new contact. This is why the computer and the programming software can be useful for you. It can take a while if you're doing a lot this way, but it's certainly possible. A lot of the programming I do on my personal radio is done this way, just because I tend to do it when I'm out in the field. Awesome, here we go. So input ID. Let's add the parrot. That is one definitely worthwhile having. So in this case, we're going to leave it as a private ID. So that one is 9990. Click confirm. And if you want like a list, you could theoretically print out that list so you have those numbers on the fly too if you ever want to just add one in. So we're good there. Give it a name. Oop. There we go, confirm. And we'll go ahead and say, oops, we'll go ahead and save that. Looks like we have more options here on the private ID. There's a ring set. Interesting. Yeah, so if you have if you're doing like a private call, if you're adding someone's contact in there who is another individual, you can set their ring. That's interesting. There you go. Did not know that. So just go ahead and click save. There we go. There's one more we need to add. So if we're talking using the Brandmeister network, you want to make sure you have a disconnect talk group in there. It's talk group 4000, and it will actually disconnect you from the network. So if you're talking and you want, let's say you're on worldwide and you want to switch over to your statewide talk group, like the Missouri talk group, you'll key up disconnect and it will actually automatically disconnect you from that talk group, and that way you can actually go key up a different talk group. So we will input that in here. Okay, input ID, talk group 4000, confirm, okay, give it a name, see, disconnect, we'll just abbreviate it here. Awesome, and then go ahead and save that. There we go, click save. And you should be ready to rock and roll with your talk groups now. So we have our talk groups. Now we actually need to go create our channels. After that, we'll assign our talk groups to those channels. So let's see, if we click on our talk group list, we now have the Parrot, the Missouri, Worldwide, and Disconnect all in there. And then that original one, which we won't be using. Awesome, so at this point, we're good to go there. So now we can create our first channel. Now I'm just going to use zone 1, which comes in the radio. You could also create more zones, but in this case, we're going to add our channel. So go to menu again. We'll go down to settings, and we're going to go to channel set. Now keep in mind, once you do this a few times, you get to the point where you can almost fly through the menus. You know, obviously not right away. It's going to be slow starting out. But once you've done a few of these, you get comfortable with it, you get familiar with the buttons and where things are, and you can start to go through it much faster. So I'm going to do my best to kind of keep it slow as we're going through so you can follow along. But if you do, get hung up on it, definitely pause the video, rewatch it. Even though it is live, you technically can actually pause it. Although if you're participating in the giveaway, I wouldn't recommend that. So awesome. Here we go. Let's see, so we're going to, you would think you would hit the new channel button. That's actually the last thing we're going to do. So we'll add all the information and then hit that button. So first, make sure you select your channel type, in this case digital. Transmit power, we're going to select turbo because it's a little ways away, and especially in the studio, we may or may not be able to hit it. There's no guarantees, we'll find out. Hopefully we can, but it depends on the day if we'll be able to from here with just the antenna on the radio. Awesome, here we go. So we have our receive frequency and transmit. So we'll go ahead and delete what's in there. Now, keep in mind, let's see, so we have uplink and downlink. So receive on the radio is going to be what? That's the downlink from the repeater. So downlink is 444.4625. So 444.4625. And it'll automatically put that period in there for you. Now, one thing to keep in mind, once you type in that number, you can either finish out the zeros if you know how many you need, or the best way to do it is just hit the pound key and it will complete it for you, just like that. Click confirm. There we go. And then to back out without deleting, just press the P2 button. Transmit, that's going to be the uplink frequency. So that's 449 4625. So 449 4625. Pound key, confirm. There we have it. Awesome. Let's see here. We can go ahead and give it a, oops, VFO channel not supported. Okay, radio ID. We should be able to, I think maybe we name it when we say new channel. I believe that's how it works. Okay, so make sure you set your color code. So we had wrote down what, color code 4. There you go. And time slot 1. And when it comes up with that, you can just press P2 to quickly back out of the menu. You don't have to wait for it. There we go. So we're going to go all the way back up to the top and click New Channel. It's going to come up with a number. Just leave that alone. It's just the next sequence in the software. I really don't know why it actually shows up there. You don't need to change that. Just click Confirm. You will want to give it a name here. So let's see. We want to name this. What one are we doing? It doesn't matter, so we can do any of them. Let's do the parrot. Awesome, click confirm. And at this point, you'll choose what zone to put it in. So in this case, we just have zone 1. You could create more zones on the fly, that's not a problem. But in this case, we're going to put it in zone 1 since we really don't have anything on this radio anyway. There we go, select talk group. Here's where you select your talk group. We're going to select parrot, obviously. Group list 1, that's fine. Confirm, there we go, saving channel. There we go. Now at this point, what you'll want to do is go back out here. We'll click P2 to get out of our VFO. It looks like we were in the VFO mode. There's zone 1, so if we rotate our channel knob, there it is, parrot. We've got our channel in there. How cool is that? So it's on there. Now there is one more thing you'll want to do. So if we were to key this up right now, oh cool, it does actually have the, it does actually have our talk group in there. Well, in some of, maybe that's a new firmware edition, because it actually let us select the talk group. That is really neat. In a lot of the older versions of this, what you would actually do is it wouldn't let you select the talk group when you made your channel. So afterwards, what you would do is come out here. You would actually then, while you're on this channel, you would go to Menu, Talk Group List, and then go down to the one you want, like Parrot. And you would actually click Select Contact. That will override the contact for that channel. So if we do that, it will select the contact. And then at that point, you could, I think sometimes you'd have to turn off your radio and back on, and that would automatically stay on that channel at that point, pretty much indefinitely unless you changed it. And that's how you would set your talk group. But it looks like the latest version, it actually does it for you. So that is really neat. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. Cool. So we're on the Parrot. Now at this point, we could key up and talk to the repeater, and it should talk back to us. Now the process for the others is basically the same. So we'll do one more here just to demonstrate it again. Go to Menu. We'll go through this one a little bit faster since we hopefully are familiar with it now. Going to go down to Channel Set. Just like that. We'll change some information here. Receive frequency, if you've done it once already, it's going to be super easy. Just verify they're the same, which they are. Color code and time slot won't have changed either. Color code, yep, same thing. Time slot, they're the same. So really all you have to do once you've done this once is just click on that new channel button, save it as the next number, there we go. Give it a new name, so this one, let's do the disconnect. There we go. Confirm. Save it to your zone, zone 1, that works. And in this case, this menu didn't used to be here, so now select your talk group. So disconnect, talk group list 1, save, select, awesome. So once you've done one, it's much easier to make the next ones. There we go. Now we can rotate our channel knob. There we go, we have the disconnect in there as well. How cool is that? So that is pretty much it for getting it on the radio. let's see if it works. Now, we may not be able to hit the repeater. It's a little bit hard to hit from here in the studio. We don't have the antenna hooked up today, the big antenna. So let's see if we can do it. I'm going to stand over here a little bit. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is W3 AMG trying out the Parrot on my newly programmed radio. Okay, doesn't look like I'm getting anything. But like I said, sometimes we are not really able to hit it here from the studio. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is W3 AMG. Okay, doesn't look like we're getting out here. I am going to try, well, just out of curiosity, we'll try the disconnect, see if we can get through with that. Nope, just doesn't look like we're able to get through, but there we have it. So that's pretty much how it works. It's super easy to program those in the radio. Like there we go, and you could program as many as you want this way. I know obviously it takes some time, but if you want to program 50 channels, you can do it that way. I would recommend using the software if you're going to do a lot of stuff, but it is neat. You can actually do it from the radio, and you can also create different zones. So if you want to organize things, all you'd have to do here is just go into menu, and we'll turn that down. Go into your zone, scroll down to zone, and you can just add a zone. Let's say I wanted to add one. You can just give it a name, select the channels in it, add channel. I can add any of those channels, and then at that point, save it, and you're rocking and rolling. So that is pretty much it for setting up your radio there. On the fly, no CPS or computer required. We had our information. We did obtain it from a computer, but you could get that just about anywhere. So let's see if we can take some questions. What do we have? Awesome. Let's see. Ken asks, what is the frequency that is used for 99 simplex on DMR? Yeah, that's a good question. I am actually not familiar with that. Maybe if any of you folks know in the chat what the answer to that is, what the 99 simplex on DMR is, that would be interesting. I'd be curious to know that. We can definitely, one of our techs could get you that information if no one here knows. I'm just personally not super familiar with that. But awesome, great question. Let's see, here's another one. If my local DMR repeater has no TS or, okay. Assume you mean no time slot. Not entirely sure what you're asking here. So if it doesn't have a time slot listed, that's my best guess of what you're asking. In that case, you could pick one, you could try it, or you could get in contact with whoever the repeater system is, the owners of that, or the club, or whatever it is, and see if they can point you in the right direction for it. Or if you really want to, find out, you could actually put your radio and digital monitor and listen on both talk groups and find out which one people are actually using. So a few different options there for you, but definitely possible. There we go. WB2DX. Cody needs a raise. Awesome. Here we go. N0RG. Ken Heron. So you can actually attach more than one talk group at the same time. Absolutely. Yeah, so you can have multiple talk groups in your radio. There's only going to be one attached to one channel, but you can create multiple channels for different talk groups, all on that same repeater. So if you have a lot of repeaters in your radio, there is another way to select the talk group. You can just hold down the 0 button right here and actually punch in, you press the pound key, but you'll punch in that talk group number just like that and key it up. That's one way to select your talk group if you have a lot of repeaters. But if you mainly just work with a couple, you can actually just create those channels so you can scroll your channel knob through the talk group. So absolutely. Let's see. John, W9YCD. Has anyone been able to access the show notes? Yeah, so the show notes should be available. If they're not, we can certainly get them to you. Hopefully they're available in the chat there, in the description. They should be available for you folks. But if not, we'll definitely put them up afterwards. Awesome. Let's see. Ken, how do you add 4000 to a hotkey? That is a great question. Yeah, so if I can actually, should be able to show you that here real quick. So there, what he's referring to there is the talk group disconnect on the radio. So what we did here is basically we can rotate to that disconnect we installed and key that up, and that will allow us to disconnect from whatever talk group we're on. Now, if you have a lot of stuff programmed in your radio, that can be a little bit inconvenient having to go back and find it before you can disconnect. So what you can actually do is program up a hotkey. So you simply hit a button, click that PTT, and it actually disconnects for you. So let me show you how that would work. There we go. We'll sign in the computer here. Awesome. So let's open up the CPS. See if we have a code plug open here that has that set up already. It's pretty simple, but I'll show you how it works. And make sure you're using the latest version of everything, CPS-wise. We have run into some troubles with it. Wait for this to boot up here. Awesome, here we go. Let's see. Okay, so once we're in the CPS, what you'll want to do is go to hotkey, this section right here on the left, and you'll want to make a hotkey that looks just like this. So hotkey 1, we have it set to call. You can select the drop downs, then digital, and then here it's going to be that 4000, just like that. PC 4000, then in digi call type, it's going to be all call, just like that. So set that up the same, click OK, and now whatever hotkey you set that up for, go into your optional settings, and we'll go over here to key function, and now just make one of the keys activate that hotkey. So like PF3, for example, you could put PF3, which is that button on top, you press that, and then it will automatically switch it over for a brief second to the disconnect. So you can then key it up, it disconnects you, and then it will switch back just to normal operation. There you have it. Awesome, let's see here. Do you need to be in VFO to make the talk group or contact active, or will this override the current memory if in memory mode? So you don't need to be in VFO necessarily to make to make a contact or anything like that. I may not fully understand your question here. If you select a new talk group while you're on a non-VFO channel, correct, you will override it. But if you're simply creating a new channel, you won't override anything. Hopefully that answers your question there. Cody, do you have your water? Absolutely, always. Gotta stay hydrated. Hydrate or dihydrate, as they say. Awesome. Let's see. How important is it to update your firmware? That's a great question. So the firmware on these radios is usually pretty stable. So if you're having good luck with yours, you're not having any trouble, I'd recommend just sticking with it. That's typically what we recommend. But if there's a new feature or you are running into some kind of problem, definitely get that updated. It's definitely worthwhile. That'd be my recommendation there. I typically leave it alone till there's something new I want, or I find something that's not working well. Let's see. Will there be any updated firmware for the 868? That's a good question. So the 868 it's actually, I think, been discontinued at this point. I don't think they make that radio anymore. It's a great little radio still, but it's a little bit outdated. The firmware, the last version on that was very stable, so I don't think they've had to release anymore. You know, I'm sure they probably would if there was some big issue, but to my knowledge, there are no plans for updates on that at the time being. It seems like everything is tip-top with that radio. We haven't had any troubles with it. Awesome. Tom, let's see. Yes, my SkyBridge is plugged into AC. After proper disconnecting, do I need to unplug in order to bring up the SkyBridge again? Oh, I understand. Okay, so you have your SkyBridge plugged in, and you go into the menu and actually turn it off. How do you turn it back on? That's what you're asking. So, correct. You would just unplug that and then plug it back in, and you're going to be rocking and rolling again. Absolutely. Let's see, Andy, KF0EZV. Let's say you're traveling and forgot to disconnect from a talk group before you were out of range of the repeater. What happens? So if you didn't disconnect from a talk group before you leave the repeater, nothing bad's going to happen. You just won't be able to talk to it anymore. If you, yeah, I mean, really nothing happens. You're just going to be out of range of it. If you go to a new area with a new repeater, you'll be able to key back up. So nothing to worry about there. Not a problem at all. Let's see, Ray, 99 is just the talk group. Let's see, you can use it for any digital call frequencies or any other frequency that you want to use in digital mode. Okay, awesome. That some reference to a question we had earlier for 99. Awesome, that's good to hear. Thanks, Ray. Let's see, Jay, FYI, show notes, it says Google Docs, you need access. Oh no, well, let's see. Let me see if I can fix that for you guys real quick. We don't need to put this up on the screen, but they may not have had the permission, but we'll get that updated. Let's see, do we have any more questions? Any more questions here, folks? But yeah, it's really pretty much that simple. We are going to do the giveaway here soon. So we're giving away a 1-year membership to BridgeCom Plus. That gets you all kinds of cool stuff. That gets you access to exclusive giveaways, exclusive deals, sales, BridgeCom Plus community of like-minded hams, a special chat for them. It'll get you access to the entire BridgeCom University, not just one course, the entire thing. It will give you access to that. And so much more with that BridgeCom Plus. So definitely worthwhile getting into it. It usually goes for about $14.99 a month. So it is not a bad deal, especially for all that extra stuff you get. Really any one thing, the BridgeCom University alone is worth well more than that. But we're giving away 1-year subscription to that today. And then also we have an exclusive giveaway for the BridgeCom Plus members for a brand new AnyTone 878 UV2 Plus. We're giving one of them away. So definitely let's stay tuned. If we have any more questions here, we might take them real quick and then we'll do the giveaway. Also, I appreciate the info on the show notes. They should be up and ready to go now. So apologies for that for anyone trying to follow along, but this is recorded. So if you want to go back in time, watch it again, definitely go for it. Show notes are good to go now. Awesome. Here we go, John. What's the best way to back up the SkyBridge micro SD card? Good question. Yeah, so if you want to, we don't necessarily recommend doing this unless you know what you're doing. Basically on the SkyBridge here, you could take the SD card, pull it out, and plug that into your computer and basically just make a copy of it. If you don't know how to do it, I probably wouldn't recommend it because we have had some folks mess them up in the process, and that kind of defeats the purpose. But definitely, if you know what you're doing with it, definitely worthwhile. There are some videos on the internet. Just have a look for how to clone an SD card. That'd be your best option, and you just make a clone of it, and you'll be good to go. If you have another SD card, that'd probably be an awesome way to do it as well. Just make a clone of it. Okay, let's see. Will the HTs work with analog as well as digital mode? WB2DX. Absolutely, yeah, these are fantastic for analog as well. In fact, I use mine quite a bit for both. You can use digital, analog, 2 meter, 70 centimeter. It's awesome. Let's see. What is the latest CPS version? Let's take a look here. I believe I'm running the latest one, which is 2.04, but there may be, I think there's a later one than that that actually had some trouble. So we are recommending the latest one we have on our website is always the one I would recommend going with. If you go with, we actually test them, vet them, make sure they work well. Some other places just put them up straight away before testing them, and sometimes people run into issues. So that is what I would recommend. Just check our website, whatever the latest one we have. I wouldn't go any newer than that. Okay, let's see. Can the UV2 Plus be the only radio needed to track linear satellites in the 70 centimeter and 2 meter mode? So you're wanting to track satellites. I believe, theoretically, you might be able to. Typically, I would think you might want a radio with a little bit more power, but I've never actually done that before with satellites. That would be interesting to know. If any folks here have tried that, with this kind of radio. Is that even possible? That'll be awesome to find out. I am not super familiar with that, but we'll get you the information. Certainly our tech guys would know exactly what you need for that. So give us a phone call, 816-532-8451, and we'll help you out with that. And for any of you folks out there wanting to get set up with EMR or with a radio, a SkyBridge, anything like that, excuse me, I'd be happy to help you with it. I am available in the shop here. If you want me directly, you can contact me. My number is 636-465-6023. Again, that's 636-465-6023. And I'll be happy to help you with that stuff. And, you know, day or night, give me a call. I'll be there for you, or shoot me a text. And, you know, if you need help getting the radio, a DMR ID, anything like that, I'm here for you. So definitely. And then we have a great tech team that can help you out as well. Let's see here. Will there be any new equipment releases soon? That is a great question. I do believe there's some really cool stuff coming down the road. The one we can give a little bit of a teaser, the 578 mobile radio. We actually have a Bluetooth mic. Should be coming out maybe this summer sometime for that radio. It's got a big old screen, so all you folks who want a removable faceplate, it's actually going to fit the bill for that, and we'll make that radio usable so you can mount it almost anywhere. So really exciting stuff. We have some other cool things coming down the road. But yeah, thanks for the question. Let's see, do we have the giveaway winners? Awesome. Let's see here. We are going to announce the giveaway winners. First up will be for the 1-year subscription to BridgeCom Plus. Let's see who it is.
All right, so we have a winner for the BridgeCom Plus annual subscription. The name is John M. Reed. Again, that is John M. Reed. Call sign is AG7MI.
Awesome, John M. Reed. Let's see, we'll get it up in the chat here. Are you in the house? Awesome. Let's see if John Reed is here. Yeah, John M. Reed, AG7MI. That's Alpha Golf 7 Mike India. Are you in the house? Awesome. There we go. John has won. Congratulations. You have just won yourself a 1-year subscription to BridgeCom Plus. That is awesome. You'll enjoy it. A lot of awesome people on there, and you'll get access to all kinds of exclusive stuff as well. So congratulations to John. Let's find out who's going to win a brand new AnyTone 878 Plus with the BridgeCom Plus exclusive giveaway. Awesome. We're finding out here real quick. See who wins. And I just want to thank you, all of you folks, for joining and showing up here. These streams would not be possible without you. It's an awesome time being able to help you folks. That's really what's in it for me. I love helping people with radio and seeing the success of people be able to get on the air. There's a lot of folks out there struggle with it. So that's our goal here, our mission, to help people get up and on the air with radio. So it's a privilege to do it for you folks. Do we have a winner?
All right, for the winner of the BridgeCom Plus giveaway, they won an AnyTone 878 UV2 handheld. The winner is Diego Delgado, call sign KC9RPO.
Let's see, Diego, are you in the house? We'll get it put up on the screen here in a second. Okay, that call sign is Kilo Charlie 9 Romeo Papa Oscar. Are you in the house? Awesome, he is here. Awesome, congratulations. You have just won yourself a brand new AnyTone 878 UV2 Plus radio. So this is also going to include Bridgecom University, all the things you need to get up and running with this radio. So congratulations to you. Hope you all enjoyed today. If you know anyone or who you know is interested in radio or learning more about it, you know, I know a lot of folks know people who are just getting started, struggling with it, or you know, not into digital yet. Send them our way. We'd love to help them. We'll walk them through the journey. You know, a lot of people get started, but then they get left in the dark. Our mission is to completely change that, and that's what we're doing here. So awesome. Thank you everyone for participating today, and hopefully you learned something. If you did, definitely like us on YouTube and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any awesome more content that we do. So that's all I have for today. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'm Cody, W3AMG. We'll see you next week, 7-3.